Hello. How are you all? It's good to see you all. My name is Rachel. My husband and I run a small guest house in Bethlehem. And running an inn really keeps us extremely busy. You have no idea. My husband, Levi, he is a good and loving-hearted man. I wish you could meet him. Maybe someday you will. That would be wonderful. Well, I'm here today to tell you about this one night. We were so busy. I've never been that busy in my entire life, in all the time that we've run an inn. Well, what had happened is Caesar Augustus had issued a decree that there was to be a census of the entire Roman world. You probably read about it in the Roman Times Ledger. Well, because of this, we had people coming to the town of Bethlehem from all over looking for a place to stay. That kept us pretty busy trying to find room and places for them to stay. And we were extremely busy trying to feed them and make them feel comfortable. Our whole family was really involved in this. It was quite a challenge. But this one night, it was just late in the evening, and I'm thinking, how are we going to take care of all these people? How are we going to feed them? What are we going to do? We were really running out of things. Oh, and I looked in my basket. There were no more eggs. Where am I going to get eggs this time of night? It's really late. I can't ask Levi. He's so busy himself. And the children? Well, they were busy doing their chores, but I'm sure you all know children. They would break those eggs in all the confusion. So I certainly couldn't ask them. Well, here I am. I'm up to my elbows with pots simmering, trying to get things ready for tomorrow for breakfast and trying to figure out how am I going to take care of all of this. When I hear, Rachel, there's a young couple out here. Levi's calling me. He says, they're here for the census. I hardly thought they were here for the Bethlehem Flower Show or the chariot races. Besides, the chariot races were canceled. So he said, Rachel, they're here for the census and they need a room. Do we have a room? They need a place to stay? And I called out and I said, Levi, I'm sorry, we just have no more room. Well, I watched as Levi kind of sent them on their way. And, they were going down the road. And then, again, here I am, busy, and I hear again, Rachel, come out here right now. You've got to see this. Well, I dropped everything I was doing, and I ran out to see what it was that Levi wanted. And I said, Levi, what's the matter? He said, there's nothing the matter with me, but look at them. Just look at them, as he pointed to the young couple. And I looked, and here's this young couple going down the road, and the young fellow looked so worried and so concerned, really kind of perplexed. And on their mule was this young gal. Now this young gal couldn't have been more than 14, 15, 17 at the most. I doubt she was even that old. But she gradually kind of looked back at us. And I noticed that she looked like she was really pondering, what's next? What am I going to do? And as I looked at her, I said, Levi, she's going to have a child any time now. You could just tell. I'm a mother, and I know about having a baby right any minute. So I just said, Levi, what are we going to do? And as we kind of looked, we was watching each other, and I thought, guess what? Why don't we use the stable? We could put them down in the stable. They could be warm in the straw, and it would certainly be more comfortable than any place along the road that they might go. They'd have a roof over their head. So Levi called them back, and he led them to the stable. And when we got to the stable, all of us, he started laying down the straw down to make a nice comfy bed for them. And in a feeding trough, he put some hay in there, the straw and hay in there. And he told the young couple, he said, this is where when the baby's born, you can lay the baby. Well, as the young man gently took his wife down off of the mule and started to lay her down in the straw, they were both so thankful, they just hugged us and thanked us. And Levi said to them, now listen, if you need anything, you just let us know. We will be back at the house. Do not hesitate to check with us. So Levi and I went back to the house. And Levi said, isn't there anything we can do for them? Anything else we can do for them? Do we have any towels, any blankets, or anything? Well, I scrounged around. And believe me, there wasn't even a blanket to be had. And all I could find was this white cloth. And I thought, well, maybe that's something she could wrap the baby in. That would be just something maybe. So as Levi and I decided, okay, let's go back and give them the cloth. And as we're going down towards the stable, what was that? We heard a baby cry. The baby's here. So we rushed in, and there in front of us was this young mother holding this naked, wrinkly baby in her arms. And surrounding them were all of the animals, just looking at them lovingly and keeping them warm. It was beautiful. And as she wrapped and swaddled her baby in the cloths, she held the baby close to her breast. And her husband just was looking on so lovingly, and it was so precious. Levi and I were so happy that we had made room for them at our inn, even if it was in this humble stable. And outside, the evening and night was so quiet. It was so peaceful. And the stars were sparkling in the skies. But there was one star that was brighter than all the rest. It was holy.
They journeyed far, a weary pair. They sought for shelter from the cold night air, some place where she could lay her head, where she could give her babe a quiet bed. Was there no room, no corner there, in all the town, a spot someone could spare? Was there no soul come to their aid? A stable bare was where the family stayed. Do you have room for a Savior? And do you seek Him anew? Have you a place for the one who lived and died for you? Are you as humble as a shepherd boy, or as wise as men of old? Would you have come that night? Would you have sought the light? Do you have room? A star arose, a wondrous light, a sign from God. This was the holy night, and yet so few would go to see the babe who came to rescue you and me. This child divine is now a king, the gift of life to all the world he brings. And all mankind he saves from doom, but on that night for him there was no room. Do you have room for the Savior? And do you seek Him anew? Have you a place for the one who lived Would you have sunlight? Do you have room?